So a movie that I wanted to talk about a lot when it came out, but I kind of missed my shot, was Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. And I was pretty excited because I'm a big fan of D&D. I actually play in a couple games, including one I DM, and I went to go see it with no, all my players. And right off the bat, it looked like a pretty fun, just action adventure movie that I would enjoy quite a bit. And I gotta say, I was in no way disappointed in this movie. If anything, it actually surpassed my expectation. On the level of someone who wanted to see a well done movie that had a lot of reverence for Dungeons and Dragons and the kind of lore of it, I was very impressed. It made you really feel like you were watching a campaign that was someone was playing by a really good GM. There's moments where you're like, okay, cool, they're doing this spell. This character is obviously this class. This NPC who comes in here is clearly a DMPC who's just coming along to move the plot forward. It really did feel like, wow, they understand what it's like to play in a D&D game, which makes sense because the guys in this, John Francis Daley, who is one of my favorite writers working in Hollywood right now, also worked on Game Night, which is another great film, and he's a big old nerd. He first came to prominence on Freaks and Geeks, playing a character who, among other things, would play D&D. But beyond that, I think this works even if you're not a fan of Dungeons and Dragons. It was also one of my brother's favorite movies, and he doesn't really play D&D other than the one time I made him play for my birthday. It's a movie we've actually watched together twice on Paramount Plus since it's come out, because I think that honestly, this feels like an action movie, an action adventure movie that doesn't really get made anymore today. It's really in the vein of like a Mummy or a Pirates of the Caribbean, these great fun swashbuckling adventures from the early aughts. It's great that they use a lot of practical effects. The Henson Creature Shop worked on this movie, but it's not all practical effects. They actually put in a lot of digital stuff. And just like Jurassic Park and a lot of the great films of the past, it knows when to use one or when to use the other. Honestly, I thought the performances in this movie were spectacular. Chris Pine and everyone else in it was really, really good, and it made me excited to see more movies set in this franchise. And it does look like hopefully it will be getting some sequels because it did quite well at the box office. My initial thoughts seeing it were that I was like, this is my favorite film I've seen so far this year. Obviously, a lot more stuff has come out since then, but it's definitely still at least in my top three. It's definitely still in my contention for my favorite film of the year. So yeah. D&D Honor Among Thieves. Thanks again for checking out MicroDose. I've been Derick McDuff. Check out my podcast, Underrated, on all the podcast apps. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.